Well, good morning. Join me this morning on banks of my local river ouse. As you can see, it's a little bit misty. It is in fact exactly 6 o'clock in the morning. Down on the stretch, only 5 minutes away from the front door at Littleport, which is controlled by Littleport Angling Club. I'm sat on peg 25. I've got a feeder rod set up, I've got a slider rod set up. Come down. Wanted to come down sort of this time of the morning just to see if I could get one or two bream. There's one or two bream sort of swimming around this area, and there's been the odd fish coming out in the matches. Early season there was one or two good catches as well. The water level is up a little bit to what it was last week. There's a tiny tinge of colour, not a massive amount at all. But we're going to give it a go. We're going to fish the feeder to start with for a couple of hours, see if there's any sort of early fish there. Then I'm going to go out on the slider. I've actually put sort of six sort of tangerine sized balls of ground bait out on the slider line. So let that sort of mellow away there while I'm having a go on the tip. I'm fishing just about the bottom of the shelf. So I'm fishing a 12-foot Cadence CR10 number 2 feeder. I've got it with an ounce tip, CS4000, 5-pound mainline, 6-pound shock leader as I normally do. I've got a ounce Nisa plastic open-end feeder there, perfect for this style of fishing. Nick Larkin does some amazing products, and I mean, his feeders are brilliant. I use a lot of them, as you know. Got my running link there down to a stop, twizzled loop, and I've got an 013 end gauge down to a size 16 Preston N20. So I'm going to be fishing that at the bottom of that sort of shelf there. See if we can show you. There you go. So I'm going to be fishing sort of at the bottom of that shelf. Those that know the area, you know, you've got a far shelf, just drops off, then it levels down, then again you've got a near shelf. So round about sort of 13 metres I think it is, something like that, it starts to level off, and it's quite flat then till it gets to the bottom of that shelf. Like I say, we'll be fishing the feeder over there. I've got a few casters, I've got some dead maggots, got some chopworm, some casters in, and what I did to start with, I actually put out 3 that sort of size. It's sort of like a basket feeder, I think they are. So I packed loads of chopworm in there and just plugged it off with a little bit of ground bait. So there's a lot of loose offerings out there, so I'm not fishing a very big feeder. Ground bait. Ground bait for today is Bait Tech Omen and Bait Tech Colt Carp Sweet Fish Meal, and in there as well, you might just be able to see them, I've got some pre-soaked micro pellets which I did last night, some sort of 2mm micros. A lot of people sort of buck with the trend with the fish meal. 1 or 2 sort of like it, 1 or 2 don't. I think if I'm 100% targeting bream, I do like to add a little bit of fish meal, because you know, it's something over the last couple of years it's come in more on the rivers, and I think they will switch on to it just a little bit. So that being said, we are gonna have a go. I'm gonna start on a worm. Big old worm. We'll go through what we're going to do with the slider a little bit later on. So just nip the head off. Nice juicy old worm. Oh, what fish could resist that. So I'm going to put a tiny pinch of chopworm and caster in the feeder. That's it, we're all ready to go. Got this clipped up, so we're in the same space every time. Just hit the clip, follow the rod through. Then it's all nice and smooth as that's going through the water. What you don't want to do is hit the clip hard, because you run the risk, if the ground bait's a little bit soft or something like that, that you could just sort of jag that out and you're not going to be in the same spot every single time. So all I like to do is just slowly pull the rod back a little tiny bit until I feel that solid tension on the tip. That way then I know that I've dragged in all of the slack and I'm fishing tight line straight to that feeder. Sometimes I will fish with a little bit of slack tip. I think today I'm just going to fish nice and tight. The water is moving a little tiny bit from what I can see of it, a little bit of weeds going through. Oh, there's a bite. Small fish, probably a perch. Nice start nonetheless. No, it's a little skimmer. Little bobby skimmer. Seems to be a lot of those skimmers that sort of size and silver bream in the system again this year, which is absolutely brilliant to see. Don't tell. Got some sweet corn behind me in my bag as well, just in case. Sometimes if the fish can be a bit of a nuisance, they start ragging the bait or stuff like that, put a bit of corn on. Or I did have a bit of an experiment last week where I actually had to go on a method feeder. So that's another thing that's could well have a go on later on today if the small fish start playing up. So hit the clip, just follow it through, sink the line. We're on the bottom. So like I say, just gently pull it back. Feel that solid tension. 100% contact with the fish. So I'm fishing rod down today. See there. About 4 or 5 inches off the water. A little bit of an indication there. And hopefully, like I say, might get 1 or 2 bream. It's forecast sort of, the sun's going to come through shortly, but later on, sort of early afternoon, it's supposed to, temperature is supposed to rise a bit, but it's supposed to cloud over as well, so you never know. See what happens. There's not a lot of wind forecast, which is a shame. Get 1 or 2 indications, which is, it's always nice to see that there's fish in the swim. I've also got the odd chance of getting a rogue tench as well along here. So I'm not going to, small fish there, so I'm not going to nip it off. I'm actually going to hook it straight through the head this time. There's a lot of fish pimping on the top. Some small fish hitting that straight away, so what we'll do, get a bit of corn ready. Corn I'm going to use is the Bait Tech Super Sweet Corn Natural. Got a big tin there. If they do in a smaller size, we've got a big tin, so I'll probably put some in the ground bait as well if I need to. So the bait tech, almond and brown crumb, almond and cook carp, little bit of brown crumb. Almond is absolute brilliant bream ground bait. Very sort of garlicky smell, and as you mix it, it gets stronger and stronger. I mixed mine last night with some warm water to break down everything, and this morning all I had to do just before I got up over the top of the bank was just damp it down a little tiny bit and put it through the riddle. Held together nicely, broke down, added sort of a couple of handfuls of soap micros to it, and everything's ready to go. Absolute gorgeous morning. I really love getting out this time of the morning. I mean, I'm always up early anyway, but I like to get down on the bank if I can, for sort of that's getting light. This time of the year, like I say, it's about 11 degrees when I was on the way down, a little bit of mist. I think it's an absolute beautiful time of the day to be out. Hopefully the fish will appreciate it. We'll see shortly. Well, we've got a little bit of fun now, because I think this could be a pike. Got a couple of small fish, and I got bit off about 5-10 minutes ago. And I had 1 or 2 bites, then nothing. And all of a sudden I had a little slow pull round, and I think it was probably sat with a fish in its mouth. So there's a very good chance this is going to go up in the air in a minute when he lets go. Oh no, it ain't. Well, I'll be. That just shows as much as what I know. That is a bream. Good old Stevie. Cocked it up again. What a beautiful fish as well. And it's foul hooked in the old belly button. Look at it, get out the belly. Lovely fish. See if we can hook 1 or 2 more properly, eh? Shows are there. Still decent fish. And 1 or 2 liners. And this just absolutely just flew round. Definitely a bream. Shot bleeder just coming through the eyes. Feels like a good fish. Lovely bream. Take time, no rush. Up on the top. Beautiful long land in that handle. That fish is in the net, that's a good fish that is as well. That's a nice big bream. What we came for. Absolute clonker. Absolute clonker. Single grain of corn. A beautiful fish. Absolute lovely bream. Booty. Oosh. So I'd have just a quick cast on the slider. There's a lot of different sort of setup today. Normally use cadence rod. I've got my Drennan on. Bit sort of lighter slider. A few inches on the bottom. I've got a bream. Lovely fish. .011 hook length, size 16 hook. Lovely bream. Beautiful. So, like I say, sort of different sort of slider set today. The rigs are all rigged up the same, but I've got a lot sort of bit softer rod. Got 6 gram Olivet. Got my line of number 9 shot there. Got a long carbon waggler with a long insert there. It's very, very, very sensitive. So I was getting 1 or 2 liners out on the feeder line. Just thought I'd just have a quick go on the slider before the sun comes up too much, or I'll put those few balls of ground bait. It's got 6-pound main line, which is Dave Harrell line. Like I say, 011 hook length. One or 2 hook lengths. I need to have a bit of a change. So there, I'm fishing 011. I've got some 010s. These were done a few years ago for me. PR34s, size 16. So like I say, I'm 011. I just thought I was getting 1 or 2 liners and silly sort of little jag bites on the feeder, so I thought I'm just going to give it sort of 10 or 15 minutes on the waggler just to see if there's anything come over those 5 or 6 balls of ground bait which I put out. It's out there about 10 minutes and it slowly slid away. I had that bream. I can quite easily cast this over onto the feeder line if I need to as well. I've got a Cadence 14 foot number 2 float rod, sort of coupled up with a 10 gram waggler, which I can punch right out there if I need to. This float is 10 gram total, so that's 2 gram of loading, and 8 gram actually going on the float itself, where the other one, sort of fishing a bit further out, is 10 gram float with a 3 gram loading. So I've got an 8 gram olive out, and I can punch that over that far side, sort of on that feeder line, if I want to. So I've got a lot of options for today. So I'll give this about another five minutes or so. Now I'm going to get back on that feeder just before the sun comes up, because the sun coming out through the clouds can be the kiss of death. So just going to give this 5 more minutes. We'll see what happens. To set the other waggler rod up, Cadence 14 foot number 2. Different slider setup, a bit heavier float, and I've gone over the top of that line where I've been fishing the feeder. Laid on the bottom a bit. Got a CS8 4000 reel, 6-pound main line, 012 hook length. I'd say that's that 10 gram with the 3 gram loading. So I've got 8 gram olivet, and I've got my liner shot, and I've got a bream on the end. It's where this long landing net handle really comes into its own. Get them up on the top. Get them in that net. Don't want to... Oh, that's a beaut. Absolute beaut. Oh, right, lovely dark fish that is. It's an absolute gorgeous fish. Oh. Cuts right down in. Get the old slammer on that. Got it right down in. Like I say, I'm laid on the bottom. There we go, we got it. Laid on the bottom a fair bit. That is what you call one hell of a bream to catch on the slider. Absolute beaut. That deserves a proper ouse. Single grain of corn. See if we can get 1 or 2 more. Well, just going to have a little bit of go on the slider now. It's gone off a little bit on the feeder. I've had six bream, a few skimmers, hybrid, but I've lost a couple of fish as well. Sort of bring them in and lost them as they're coming up. So whether they were foul hooked or hook just pricked out. So I fed 4 decent feederfuls full of bait, casters, corn, as you like, and I thought, right, well, I'm just going to let all that sit for a bit and have a hair on the slider. It's a nice skimmer, that. So on double dead maggot. Beautiful fish. Definitely wanted it. So yeah, I thought I'd just, while that's settling, sort of have about half hour on this, see if we can put 1 or 2 fish. Sort of fishing this just shy of the middle. See what happens. Still getting a lot of bites when I was on the tip on the corn, a lot of jag bites, still getting the odd line bite as well. But I did see, sort of before the sun came out properly, I did see 3 fish roll, sort of a couple in front and 1 further down, so there's a good chance that the fish might have actually gone by now. We've had a few, which is nice, which is what we came to do. And if the float goes under for the next sort of half hour, 40 minutes, that'd be nice too. So I put the umbrella up because the sun came out, the boat head very, very warm. Bit of a lift point there. Pulled out that. It's not all sunshine and roses. Just a couple of turns on the reel, sink the line. And just pay out some line until the float cocks. There we go. Probably can't make the float out. Fishing sort of just shy of the middle. Right there. See where I'm going to be, where I'm fishing. And just cast out, a couple of turns, that's it. Go. See if we can keep this one on the hook. Lovely fish. So we catch 1 or 2 like that while the feeder line settles. Be a happy bunny. So I'm just fishing. That was actually on just a normal single red maggot. So feather it as it lands. A couple of turns. All I'll do is just pay a bit of line out. Tip under the water. And the fish took it on the drop. And it's a rudd. Absolute gorgeous fish is rudd. Look at that. You cheeky little monkey. Well, we've just put the net to dry. I've had 6 nice bream, I've had some skimmers, I've had a few hybrids, some silver bream, some rudd, and I've also had some roach. So all in all, it's been very, very enjoyable. I've had a couple of bream on the slider. I've also sort of pricked off a couple of fish as well. Foul hooked a couple. Pulled out one just as coming up to the net. But it's nice that there's fish in the, definitely know there's fish in the area. But with the sun coming up, that's definitely put bait and catching a few bream now. So I'm having a few fish on the slider. And I'm going to make my way home. So it's heat of the day now. So started early this morning purposely because of the heat. And we'll soon be packing the gear up and away for home. So I can carry on fishing the slider for about another half hour while the net's drying. Plenty of bites on it. A lot of small fish. Just sort of out on dead maggot. Double dead maggot. Casting over onto the line where I was fishing the feeder. A lot of weed sort of floating through the, it's been coming down with the boats as well. All in all, it's been a very, very enjoyable session. Got all the bream on the corn, apart from the first one which I had on the worm. And everything else is on the tip, has been on the corn. Put a maggot on or put a worm on, just doesn't get anywhere near the box. A lot of boats coming through now. Like I say, it's very nice, catch a few fish, and if you've been out yourself, hope you've had a few. There we go. So I say, hope you've had a few if you've been out. Lovely fish to catch on the slider. Little skimmers. Beautiful little fish, look at that. Perfectly formed. There we go. So I'll catch you next time on the bank. Oosh.